keep in mind these energies, they are like animals. They puff themselves up to look bigger than they are, you see. They use your own sense of powerlessness as an amplifier. So keep in mind, it's two things. It is the
Mm-hmm.
energy of the external force that creates the discordant energies, the negative thinking, the negative thoughts. It is that mixed with your own energies that have indulged such things before put together. So a
Yes,
negative
it does.
entity will take the suffering, will take the judgments, the misalignments of their victim, their target, and they make those things bigger. They use your own misalignment against you. And that's how they seem bigger than they actually are. These entities enter into the body, and this may sound strange. It's through
Mm-hmm.
food. It is when food is prepared using unnatural ingredients. It is when food is prepared using negative intentions that such energies are brought into the food. These negative energies, you might call them demonic energies. Yes, they're hurtful energies. They are intentionally designed to harm. Yes, these things are put
Mm-hmm.
into your food. Many of you all around the world. These types of foods will attract in physical organisms, parasites, and other tiny little animals, little bugs that are a vibrational match for that type of food that is created. These things enter into the body, and these organisms act as physical anchors for that external negative spiritual force. So food is one of the major ways these types of things entangle with the human nervous system. This is why we spend so much time emphasizing the importance of dietetics for all of you. Being in control of your own food, blessing your food, this is of highest importance if you want to truly have sovereignty of mind. Otherwise, you are just introducing energies from all over the place, ingredients from all over the place, beings from all over the place. So whenever you are having issues with what you would call mental health, to examine this from more of a Western psychological perspective, removing the entity element from it, just for example's sake, looking at it purely as a biomedical psychological issue, our suggestion would be focus heavily on intestinal hygiene, intestinal detoxification, avoiding grains. These are things that will feed some of these organisms. These organisms are worm-like. These organisms are fungal-like. So they are going to be feeding primarily on sugars. They are going to be feeding primarily on unnatural foods. Remember, unnatural entities will be brought into the body to help your body break down unnatural food. If you eat natural food, natural entities will be in the body because that's what you need to break down. So you attract beings based on what you're consuming. So you must be consuming foods with loving energies. You must be consuming foods with good ingredients. We would advise deeply cleanse the intestines. Focus on the chlorophyll, the idea of the green pigment. This will absorb toxins out of the intestines. Different plants have this, different algae have this, and even chlorophyll supplements, liquid chlorophyll, can be purchased. Activated charcoals will also bind to the different toxins that exist within the intestinal system that these organisms create. Something like colon hydrotherapy, enema therapy, be responsible with it, be safe with it. These things can also flush such organisms out of the intestines. Furthermore, certain herbs can be used that are anti-parasitic, but you must be careful with them because they are toxic. If it's designed to hurt a bug, it's probably going to also hurt you a little bit. So if you are a little intimidated by the herbal approach, you can work with things like zeolites. You can also work with things like diatomaceous earth, diatomaceous clay. These are less toxic ways of removing such organisms. But if you suspect, this is for all of you, if you suspect you have entanglements with negative entities, clean the intestines. It's the fastest way to transform that. Furthermore, drinking things like apple cider vinegar, raw apple cider vinegar, will also cleanse the intestines, but the vinegar itself dissolves etheric patterns. So any pattern of energy that exists inside of you that is not your own natural pattern of energy will be dissolved by the vinegar. So dilute it with water. But this is also what you can do. Look into these things. But remember, they can't really hurt you. The most that they can do is create what you have experienced, a type of destructive urge and powerlessness. That's the most they can do. They can't really hurt you unless you let them in and give them that permission.